Hey everyone, I wanted to get on here today to talk a little bit about how you can, you know, gain some of this deeper and more comprehensive knowledge, spiritual knowledge, mental knowledge, physical knowledge out here, in the system that we live in. So let's just get to it. So when people say, there's a big phrase that people use now in the spiritual community of, tap in. They say, you tap into that spiritual knowledge, and tap into the source so that you can be able to gain some of this information, gain some of this energy, this frequency that is out here in order to, learn more things about it. But, when you think about tapping in, that's like a beginner surface level of things. Because, to tap into things, to get syrup out of a tree or to get the sap out of the tree, you tap the tree. You're tapping in, just enough to where you could be able to get some of that source to flow out. But you're not getting and seeing the actual source, the full scope of things. So, really and truly, when people are saying like tap in, that's in order to like basically like wet your toes. You're tapping your toes in the water. You're hitting that surface level of things in order to start getting this understanding, start getting this energy and frequency and vibrations around you and start understanding more about it and gaining more knowledge of it. But if you are at a point where you're like, okay, no, you're tapped in, you're seeing different things, you're learning this different information, you're actually applying it, now you're at the point where, you shouldn't just tap in. It's time to dive in, to be fully immersive. Because once you actually immerse yourself into these things, that's like, in your daily practices, doing things every day. You're now immersing yourself into meditation every day. You're now immersing yourself into mindfulness practices every day. Once you get that full immersion in there and you're really diving in, that's why some people be like, oh, we're going to go deep. We're going to dive deep into something. Once you're actually going deeper into these things, then you're going to start to learn more about what's going on around you, within you, and everything that's going on with this system. You can start learning some more things about it. I'm not saying that you're going to learn everything because, at that point, now you've dived in. Now you can see some of the deeper aspects. You can see some of the other things, but it's not like you're seeing the whole thing because now you're immersed in it. And that's with anything, once you're immersed in it, yes, you learn a lot of things. You have these experiences, which are going to help you to grow and help you to experience more. But then you're also not seeing the comprehensive knowledge of it, but it is a deeper form than just tapping in because there's levels to everything. There's surface level, a deeper level, and a deeper level to that. And just like the layers of the earth, the crust, and you start going down to deeper levels. Anything that's going on, even when they talk about deep space, you're going deeper into space. Everything's talk about going deeper, diving deeper, going down or going up, depending on your perspective of what that is. But in order to actually get more of this information and get some of this, don't want to say higher information, but more comprehensive information, you're going to have to be able to actually dive into this information, immerse yourself into your practices and everything that you're doing in order to learn, what is going on around you, within you. I always talk about this, learning what's going on around you, within you, because once you start learning what's going on around you, what you're interacting with, then you'll start learning more about yourself. And this whole experience that we're here for is about learning more about ourselves because we are a part of this whole. So therefore, we are learning more about of ourselves because we're just a part of it. So once we learn more of ourselves, we have learned that part of it. And then you're learning what's going on around you, and then you're learning that part of it, and you're starting to get more comprehensive knowledge, if you understand what I'm saying. So, people out there who are like, okay, I'm tapped in, but I'm still having these issues. It's not even issues. I'm having these questions that are not being answered. I'm not understanding what's going on. And I want to get some more understanding. I want to get some more clarity on the situation. And I want to understand more. Yeah, you've tapped in. Now that you tapped in, you see a line, a connection to the source. You have a line to that source. You have a line to where that energy is flowing out of, because you've tapped into it to let it leak towards you so that you can get some of that and actually sustain yourself and nourish yourself and get some of that energy, frequency, vibration, to yourself to understand these things. Now you have to dive in. And if you don't want to dive in, sometimes, diving in can be scary. I know people say, oh, I just dove into the deep end. Well, you don't have to dive into the deep end, what I'm saying? Just start immersing yourself, put your feet in, next your legs, start going into it, take things step by step, do things, at the level that you're ready for, do things at the pace you're ready for, because this is not a race. This is just an experience and a journey that we all go on, so that everybody's going to go through different things and learn at their own pace. So, do things according to what you understand. Do things according to the pace that you understand and that because only by doing that when you actually be able to fulfill, the requirements for you to learn what's going on, because this is your journey and you set these requirements for yourself. So you have to learn, what are you able to do? What are you able to do right now? Now, that might not be what you're able to do later, because, things change constantly. Things are constantly flowing, constantly remodeling, restructuring. So understand that. So when you're going through and you're trying to learn these different information and you're trying to get some more of this deeper knowledge, you really need to learn how to immerse yourself, and whether or not you want a full immersion or partial immersion, you're still immersing yourself and learning things. Some people are able to start getting a deeper immersion, a fuller immersion, and not even that, then they're able to swim around. So while they're immersed, saying they're not just staying stagnant, they're not staying still. While that energy is flowing around them, they're flowing through that energy, and they're starting to see the different parts of it, and they're starting to get to some more, comprehensive knowledge of what's going on around them. So just take some time and think about, whether or not you're just tapping in. Are you immersing yourself? Are you diving in? Are you swimming through it? Are you actually, traversing through all these different layers and depths and, different frequencies and energies that are around you and within you? Because once you start to understand, what level you're at and where you're at with your immersion, are you just tapped in? Do you have you 10 toes down, you're 10 toes in? Are you all the way in? You're going diving head first. There's a lot of different ways you could put this. But once you start to understand where you are, and start to, push your boundaries, push those, those limits that you placed on yourself, and start to dive more into it and actually immerse yourself more into this knowledge and this energy and these frequencies that are going on, you'll start to learn something. So just take some time to see where you're at, whether or not you're ready, and hey, you might find something out.